Yes, it's time for another album ranking, and today we're diving into one of the most sorrowful, crushing bands in the funeral doom world, Shape of Despair. Now, this band has been around since the 90s, formed in Finland. They actually started under the name Raven before evolving into what we know today, slow, atmospheric, emotionally devastating doom metal. They're one of those bands that doesn't just play heavy music, they make you feel like you're sinking into the earth. Each album is different, but they all carry this grey, foggy atmosphere that just lingers. From the raw coldness of Shades of, to the emotionally rich Angels of Distress, to the towering cinematic weight of Monotony Fields, they've built one of the strongest and most consistent discographies in funeral doom. So in today's video, I'm going to be ranking all of Shape of Despair's full-length albums, from my least favourite to my absolute favourite. All of them are great, but some definitely connected with me more than others. So let's get fucking into it. So kicking things off at number 5 is Illusions Play. Now don't get me wrong, this album is still really solid, but compared to the rest of the discography, it's definitely the one I connected with the least. It's a strange record, very dreamlike. There's a real hazy, surreal atmosphere throughout the whole thing, and it leans heavily into that ambient, drifting side of funeral doom. Songs like Entwined in Misery and the title track are easily as standouts. Both had that signature Shape of Despair mournfulness with beautiful harmonies and slow burning emotion, but the album as a whole kind of just floats. Like, there's no real payoff or crushing climax like their other records. A lot of it repeats melodies or drifts into long ambient sections that, while haunting, don't really stick with me. Still Motion, for example, has beautiful parts, but it goes on fucking forever and doesn't evolve much. It's more atmosphere than structure. That said, the production is cold, raw, which I do appreciate. It feels like you're sitting in a snowstorm at times, and it still has that signature sadness that makes the music so immersive. It's not a bad album per se by any means, it's just the one I revisit the least. Solid, but not essential. Alright, coming in second last is, I hate to do this, Return to the Void. Now, the most recent album, and honestly, it's a fantastic return. It's a much more streamlined and focused release compared to something like Monotony Fields, and you can really tell they refined everything here. Now, the atmosphere is still as thick and fucking emotional as ever, but it's delivered with a little more precision. Now, the title track is such a strong opener, those eerie melodies, the ghostly backing vocals, the crushing riffs, it just sets the mood instantly. Then you've got songs like Solitary Downfall, which is honestly heartbreaking. The piano, the fucking synth works on this, the growls, it's one of the emotional highlights of the entire record. Now, Reflection in Slow Time has this great balance between harsh and clean vocals. Natalie's vocals, her clean vocals are fantastic. The orchestration is absolutely beautiful. And then you get songs like Forfeit, devastating, crushing and heavy, full of emotional fucking weight. Inner Desolation, the last song, it goes hard, and I love how epic that song is. So yeah, I really like this one. It's not as grand or sprawling as some of the others, but that's also its strengths. It's tight, well written, emotionally crushing, just not quite top 3 for me. We're in the middle here, Shades of, released in 2000. So, this is their debut. And honestly, this album is still fucking incredible. It's raw, cold, hypnotic, just completely drenched in atmosphere. You feel the icy winds of Finland blowing through every single riff on this thing. Now, compared to their later stuff, Shades of is a little more stripped back. It's not as emotionally rich or as cinematic as Monotony Fields or Angels of Distress, but the atmosphere on this one is something fucking else. It's like being lost in a snow-covered forest with no way out, and somehow you're okay with it. Now the opener, In the Mist, absolutely nails that frozen black and funeral doom vibe. The chord progressions have this subtle black metal influence. You can hear it in the way the melodies just float and twist. Even some DSBM is sprinkled along with these melodies. I love the synths in the background, not overpowering, but just enough to feel like there's something haunting the edges. Shattered Dreams is a standout for me. Natalie Koskinen's eerie cleans in the background, the mournful melodies, the hypnotic pacing. It's one of the most emotionally charged tracks on the record. And Down Into the Stream honestly sounds like a horror soundtrack. The vocals by Tony Minasivu on insane, guttural, cavernous, and laid under those haunting synths. It's disturbing, but in the best way. And let's be real, Silver Night nearly put me to sleep, but I don't mean that in a bad way. It's so dreamlike, so tranquil. It's like a funeral ambient more than funeral doom. It's one of those tracks where you're just fucking floating in sorrow, not trying to move, just existing in it. The production on this album is raw, but in a really effective way. The drums sound distant and echoey, the guitars feel brittle, and everything is just covered in this cold haze. And while the vocals aren't as emotionally expressive as later albums, they fit this sound perfectly. They're more like distant howls and a voice out front. It's not an album I throw on every week, but when I do, it hits different. It's hypnotic, it's bleak, and it feels like the blueprint for everything that came after. It's not as refined as the top two, but honestly, it doesn't need to be. Shades of is cold, distant, emotionally detached, but in the best possible fucking way. And it still holds up over 20 years later. Alright, number 2 is Angels of Distress. And man, this album is something else. This is the record where Shape of Despair fully came into their own. Everything they hinted at on Shades of, that icy hypnotic funeral doom vibe, gets amplified and refined here. It's more emotional, more cinematic, and honestly, it's one of the saddest albums I've ever fucking heard in my life. It's not just doom sad, but actual reflect on your life sad. Now the opening track Fallen is still one of the best openers in the genre. That synth melody is absolutely beautiful, and when those guttural vocals kick in by Pasi Koskinen, it just swallows you whole. It's not aggressive. It's heavy in that emotional, soul-crushing kind of way. There's this graceful sadness to it that just lingers. And then you've got the title track, Angels of Distress. And that song lives rent-free in my fucking head. Now the main melody is heartbreaking, and the violin work is just unreal. That's the moment where it really hit me. This band isn't just trying to be slow and heavy. They're trying to hurt you in a beautiful way. Now the violin just cries through the whole song, and the vocals, those deep growls layered with soft, almost whispered synths, it feels like grief-made music. These songs like Quiet These Paintings Are is another highlight. The intro is stunning, just absolutely fucking gorgeous. The piano, the violin, and those growls, it's like watching a memory fade while someone screams in the background. And that outro, holy shit, it broke me a little. I just sat in the silence after it ended. It's one of those tracks that doesn't just end, it stays with you. And then there's To Live For My Death, which might be one of the darkest, most cinematic moments on the record. The clean and harsh vocal interplay is perfect, and there's something deeply haunting about that midsection. It honestly feels like being trapped in a dream that slowly turns into a fucking nightmare. The lyrics are devastating too. Listen, they don't just explore death, they explore the act of living for it. That's such a heavy concept, and the music captures it beautifully. Even the closer, Night's Due, is special. It's slightly faster than the rest of the album, but still drenched in that sorrowful atmosphere. And weirdly enough, after all that emotional weight, you got Night's Due. The song feels like a tiny sliver of light at the end of the tunnel. It's not hopeful, but it's not completely hopeless either. The production here is also worth pointing out. It's still raw and icy like Shades of, but it's cleaner and more expressive. The instruments all have room to breathe, and the mix gives every violin, every piano note, and every growl the space it needs to hit fucking hard. Angels of Distress is just an amazing emotional experience. It made me reflect, it made me stop. I wasn't expecting that. This album is just drenched in human sorrow. It's not over the top, it's not dramatic, it's honest, and that's why it lands so high for me. But there's still a record that does it all and more. Let's get to number one. Alright, taking the number one fucking spot, no question, no hesitation, it is Monotony Fields. Now this isn't just my favorite Shape of Despair album, this is easily one of my favorite Funeral Doom albums of all time. I don't say that lightly. Now this thing is monumental. It's everything I love about the genre distilled into one album, emotionally crushing, cinematically beautiful, and so perfectly paced it feels like you're walking through a sacred ruin and every step heavier than the last. The moment reaching the innermost begins, I'm already gone. That long orchestral intro just pulls you into this frozen space where nothing exists except grief and silence. It takes a full 5 minutes to even reach the first growl by Henri Cavula, but it's not boring, it's intentional. It's like the band is giving you time to breathe before you drown. And when the vocals finally come in, it's like the voice of death itself, deep, commanding, fucking completely mournful. And those angelic female vocals near the end by Natalie, fucking unreal. That track sets the tone for the entire album. It's not about heaviness for the sake of it, it's about feeling something. And then you hit the title track, Monotony Fields, and it's just devastating. Those clean guitar melodies at the beginning are hypnotic, literally meditative, and then the crushing riffs come in with the force of a glacier. The snare tone here is apocalyptic, it really is. It sounds like the world ending in slow motion. The pacing is so slow, it's almost painful, but in the best way. And again, the vocals are monstrous, but full of restraint. There's no theatricality here. There's no theatrics here. It's just pure desolate resignation. Descending Inner Night is one of the darkest songs I've ever heard in my life. It's pure void. The melodies are bleak. The pacing is for real. It really is. And the clean harmonies between Henry and Natalie are generally stunning. There's this moment halfway through where both voices come together and it just crushed me. That wasn't doom, that was beauty buried in sorrow. The kind of track that just leaves you emotionally flattened. Then you get The Distant Dream of Life, a shorter song, but no less powerful. The orchestral layering here is incredible. The melodies have this tragic weight to them, and the clean vocals at the end offer a sort of emotional breath, but even that feels haunted. It's like you're finally starting to accept the sorrow. Withdrawn is a slow trudge through the deepest pits. The growls on this track are next level. They really are absolutely massive, and the harmonization again just elevates it. The melodies are allowed to breathe, and you can feel the grief settle into the mix. It's not dramatic. It's tired, like the sound of someone who's accepted there's no way out, but keeps walking away. Then you get In Longing, another massive standout for me. The intro with the ghostly with the ghostly Natalie on vocals is gorgeous. The atmosphere is thick and dreamlike, and then those orchestral swells hit and it becomes this almost spiritual experience. When the growls return, it's like being hit by a wave of emotion. This track walks the line between devastation and serenity, and it does it flawlessly. And then the closer, The Blank Journey. Honestly, one of the best Doom closers I've ever heard. The riffs are slow and massive, the vocals are deep and sorrowful, the backing harmonies by Natalie and the orchestral textures feel like a funeral dirge for the entire album. And that outro, holy shit, that outro is fucking epic. It's not hopeful, it's not even peaceful, it's just final, like being buried beneath the snow while the sky fades to black. It's one of the most emotionally satisfying endings to any Funeral Doom album, period. Now, Monotony Fields is a masterpiece, it is. There's no weak track, there's no filler. Every moment is crafted with so much care and emotional precision. The production is flawless and the pacing is perfect and the atmosphere is unmatched in my opinion. This album makes you sad. It makes you sit in that sadness and actually feel it. And somehow, by the time it ends, you come out the other side feeling like you've just lived through something bigger than yourself. This is Shape of Despair at the absolute peak. It's not just my favorite album by them, it's one of my favorite Funeral Doom albums ever made, next to Call of the Wretched Sea by Ahab. And that's the list. Shape of Despair, wow. What a band. They don't just write Funeral Doom, they embody it. Every album they've put out feels like a journey through grief, solitude, and beauty. Even the ones low on the list are still incredible in their own right. You're not gonna find any filler in the discography, just different shades of sorrow. But for me, Monotony Fields will always stand at the top. That record changed the way I look at Funeral Doom. It's more than music, it's an experience. And honestly, if you're new to this band, start there. Let it consume you. Let it sit with you. You'll get it. Anyway, thanks for watching the ranking. Let me know your favorite Shape of Despair album down in the comments below. Maybe yours is Angels of Distress. Maybe you're a Shades of Purist. I'm keen to hear what connects with you most. If you enjoyed this, make sure you comment your rankings down fucking below. It's been fun. I'll see you in the next one, probably knee deep in more misery and distortion.